Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Andrzej Olechowski, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland.
Good evening. There are enough of diplomats around this room to know the famous definition of a diplomat as a person who can send you to hell in a way that you look forward to the trip. Ambassador Daniel Fried is such a man. He could do that. He is an accomplished diplomat with impressive records of leading positions in National Security Office, State Department, and being the American in Warsaw, at a memorable American in Warsaw. He is a very enjoyable person, brilliant, warm, engaging, modest. So fun to be with and ideal person to follow his advice for the trip. But he would not send you to hell, don't worry. He is also a man of mission, principles, and vision. His mission is to make America safer, more prosperous, and greater. His principles are democracy, rule of law, human rights. And his vision is that America can be lastingly prosperous only if other countries would do well as well. Now, these simple principles and this mission were at the basis of the United States policy, European policy, that Daniel Fried had helped to craft and then implement. The policy that brought millions of people in Central and Eastern Europe out of poverty and dependence. Now, these principles are today challenged by a different vision of the world. The vision in which international relations are an arena on which countries compete for advantage. This vision gives rise to nationalist agendas that proliferate around the world, including, sadly, Poland and the United States. I'm sure Daniel Fried will be resisting this challenge and this pressure, and we all should do that. So, I congratulate Atlantic Council for its choice of Daniel Fried, and I ask you to salute Ambassador Daniel Fried, Atlantic Council Diplomat for Freedom.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And thank you, koledzy przyjaciele, colleagues and friends from the Atlantic Council. It's a great honor to receive this award, of course, but even greater honor to be in the spiritual company of my former professor and mentor, Professor Zbigniew Brzezinski, and alongside also soldiers of NATO defending Poland and Europe and freedom. I accept this award, but less on my own behalf and more on behalf of the cause of freedom and justice, because it was given to me in my time to try to advance that cause in this part of the world. In doing so, my closest colleagues and I were able to help redeem a promise America had made to Poland and to all of Europe. In the autumn 1988, I was the low-ranking Polish desk officer in the Department of State. Late one night, I was contemplating the latest news from Poland, the uncertain maneuvering, the talks about talks between Solidarity and the communist authorities, with some in the episcopate acting as informal facilitators. This was an uncertain time, and I suddenly had a shocking thought. I did not know how this would turn out. Poland's future might again be open. The Hitler-Stalin Pact and Yalta had not necessarily locked in Poland's fate or Europe's fate. My generation of Americans had been educated in the shadow of Yalta. We were taught that America had been foolish, even negligent, to have been disengaged from Europe in the 1930s. We were taught that the result of this negligence was the shape of World War II, in which to defeat Hitler, the US made common cause with Stalin. My country paid a high price for that mistake. But Europe's price, and Poland's price especially, was higher. And my generation was taught, sadly, that nothing could be done. The West ended at the line Stalin drew. Poland's fate and East Europeans' fate was set, sad but immutable. But now it occurred to me that this was not necessarily so. Poles were reopening their own history, and they might succeed. Polska nie była skazana na dominację obcą radziecką komunistyczną. And if Poland's fate was open, so was the fate of all of Eastern Europe and Europe as a whole. Yalta was not destiny. If the end of Yalta was possible, it was therefore up to my generation of American diplomats, and therefore to me, to do a better job than our predecessors who had failed. We therefore could redeem America's promise in the Atlantic Charter to liberate all of Europe from tyranny. I promised myself that night that I would do my part to see it done if I could. And from that point, my professional life was devoted to that objective. But any success I had was merely a function of Poland's success and the successes of Poland's neighbors north and south in building freedom at home. We all succeeded. Presidents Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama all extended or defended freedom in Europe. NATO and the European Union brought 100 million self-liberated Europeans into an undivided, free, and increasingly prosperous family of nations, the free world. Therefore, I can accept this award in recognition of our joint achievement. But our work is not yet done. Our achievement is at risk and under assault from without, from Russia, and from within, from those who doubt the value of what the free world achieved and what the free world stands for. We must defend our achievements, resisting Russia's aggression, and we must equally recommit to the free world and the common values which have propelled us this far. It will fall to President Trump to do his part in his time. In this task, we can learn from each other. I learned much from Poland over the years, including that patriotism rooted in higher values than blood and soil has the greater power, for it speaks to our better angels, and that a nation, when put to the test, can be true to its best self. We have work to do still, and I will try to do what I can in the name of this solidarity of values. Thank you, my friends.